This is Badass Billy Gunn, 11-time WWE Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion, Hardcore Champion, and you're listening to IcoPod. You gotta hear this. And if you're not listening to this, I got two words for you. Suck it.
And we're back with episode 44 of IcoPod. I'm Bob Conley Jr. And joining me as always, Austin Skinner. What's going on, man?
What is up? What is up, my good friend? We are back again. And I got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to this episode. You know why, Bob?
Why is that?
I bet you're not going to guess it.
Really looking forward to this episode. I don't know. I give up.
Well, because simply put, the number 44 is my favorite number.
Is it?
It is. Yes.
Interesting.
Little trivia for you there.
You want to know what my favorite number is?
I would guess 23.
No.
Go ahead. What is it?
4.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Why 4?
Don't know. You want to know what my favorite letter is?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. What's your favorite letter?
W.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite letter. I like Q. Q's cool. Q's a good letter.
I just like W because it's just like W. I remember when I was a kid, somebody pointed out to me, they were like, "Oh, your favorite letter is W," and they're like, I was like, "Yeah," and then they're like, it's just double U's, right? And I was like, "What?" And when you spell it, it's like U and then another U, and it's like that's why it's called double U's. And I was like, "Oh, so it's just 2 U's." Like, yeah, that's a buzzkill.
Was that before or after you ripped the bong?
Yeah, no, this was earlier this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Well, as far as what are we going to get this week? Are we going to get a W for win or are we going to get an L for lose?
Well, we're going to get an L this week because before we got on the air, was trying to eat trail mix that expired in March of 2018. Mind you, it's November.
Well, if I could just kind of recap that for you, do a little wrestling recap here.
.com.
Find all your reviews, columns, and news that you need to there.
Yeah.
So before we went live here on the airwaves.
Yeah, I totally goofed it.
Yeah, Bob pulls out this, which mind you, this trail mix blend that he usually buys is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So he whips out his bag of trail mix, as Bob would do normally, and says, "Hey, this is it's expired by a couple of months, but I'm good, right?" I said, "Bob, I don't know. Usually they got the dates on there for, a fucking reason." He said, "Nah, I'm good." So he took a nice big handful and then realized, what, Bob? What happened to the chocolates in there?
Okay, so listen. All right. It had never been opened, so the seal was good. I don't know why I never bothered to open it. I just hadn't. I guess I wasn't in the mood.
You're a busy guy.
I was never in the mood for the last, year. And today I decided, hey, I have some trail mixes. I'm doing a podcast. And I look at the date and it says March 14th, 2018. I'm like, hey, okay, it's never been open. So it should be all right. So I put a whole bunch in a bowl. I come to sit down. I'm talking to Austin about it. And I'm like, it should be all right. Right? And he's like, well, the apricots could probably be, they might be moldy. I'm looking at the apricots and they're fine. So I have like 2 or 3 like nuts. And
I have 2.
No. Lance Armstrong has 1. But so I'm looking at the chocolates and there's like white dots on them. And I'm like, that can't be good. So I threw it away.
So
didn't risk it. I didn't have any of the chocolates. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is like I die or something. But so this could be the end of we ended episode 44 just because Bob is negligent in
doesn't
eating food.
adhere to expiration dates. So
Well, in my defense, it had never been opened. Okay, so how can it go bad if it's never been opened?
well,
That should be a law. I should sue the company for not properly making a suitable food storage. Speaking of which, I should sue people that make Fig Newtons because I didn't open a package of Fig Newtons. And yesterday morning, I went to have some before I went to work, and there's somehow ants got into the package of Fig Newtons. They're crawling on the Fig Newton. I had not opened it. So I literally Googled, I'm like, can ants get into fucking packages of food? And then like turns out they can, even if it's not open. They'll just dig right through it. And I'm like, they don't have hands. But apparently they can. They can open them up. And I'm like, all right, well, gotta get Ziploc bags. So, mind you, I live in an apartment building. I'm on the bottom floor. I'm not a dirty guy, so it's not like, we got food all over the place that would attract ants. I'm assuming I'm on the bottom fucking floor, and that's why the ants keep back on coming in here. So everything's got to go into plastic bags now.
We've now learned the adverse effects of expired trail mix. Basically, you end up feeling like you're on drugs and talking real dumb.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's Bob for you, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of which,
an unrelated note, I do now have a stomach ache, but I'm going to blame that on the spinach that I had last night as well.
Yeah, likely story.
It's probably going right through.
Likely story. So,
well, is there mold penicillin anyway? So I'm fine.
I don't know if we better fact check that one.
Let me Google it.
My main question coming out of that little conundrum you just dropped on us there. Firstly, who in the blue fuck
bad for you
eats Fig Newtons other than ants? The fact that was even in your apartment baffles me because those are disgusting.
Listen, before I comment on your Fig Newton bullshit here, I've just read here about mold and if it's bad for me. And it says that it can cause nasal stuffiness, throat irritation, coughing or wheezing, eye irritation, and in some cases, skin irritation. Mind you, I suffer from all of that. So I've been having a lot of mold.
Probably the Fig Newtons and expired trail mix.
Maybe I should. Is mold bad for you to eat? Let me clarify.
Yeah, we just.
Well, you probably won't die from eating fungus. Keep in mind that foods that are moldy may also have invisible bacteria. Well, that's good. See, but the stuff that I was having was not looking green. I'll tell you that right now. It was not.
That doesn't mean it's not mold, Bob. Damn it. Mold can look like fur sometimes if you really let it go.
That's true. That is true. But it was like little white dots, and there was other white chocolates in there, so it could have just rubbed against them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm all right. I probably should just dig them out of the trash and eat them, to be honest with you. I think I might have panicked.
You pulled the trigger too soon.
Yeah, I think I goofed it.
Yeah, jumped the gun. Actually, that
all this fungus or all this mold I'm looking at, it's like all green.
Well, there is white mold, Bob.
Yeah, I know, but like it's not that yeah, I think I was all right. Yeah, I think I overreacted.
Well,
might have dodged a bullet. Well, it's better to be safe than sorry. And then anyway, and then back to the Fig Newtons. Fuck you. First off, Fig Newtons are delicious.
Yeah, if you're 90.
Well, I am 30, about to be 30, so dog years. I'm like 120.
Well, we established you weren't 43 last episode.
Yeah. Well, Fig Newtons are good, and anybody that's listening to this, let us know if you like Fig Newtons. Fig Newtons are good. I don't understand. What are you talking about? Yes.
No. First of all, they give me a hell of a batch of heartburn. Super bad heartburn.
What kind of Fig Newtons are you eating that you're getting heartburn?
It's like dried fucking petroleum jelly on the inside.
Yeah, that's what makes it great.
No, that's what makes it terrible.
No, man, you're.
I like the powdery cake substance that surrounds it.
Yeah, you're a hater. Oh, you know what? And I got another question for you because I might have goofed on another one. I might have had 3 goofs. So you know, cooking oil, cooking spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it okay to eat that?
Well, naturally, it ends up in your food if you're using it.
Yeah, but like, is it okay?
Well, yeah. Why? Did you eat the whole fucking can?
Well, no, because I sprayed a pan and I made a, and then I felt like I feel like I could taste the cooking oil, but I didn't know if that was or the spray.
So you definitely overused it if you could taste it.
I sprayed it like once.
Yeah. No, you don't want to taste it. You're not gonna die.
It's over, dude.
But
How have I survived this long? And
you should probably consult a doctor because now that you've stepped out of your comfort zone of Hot Pockets, you're fucked.
yeah. Well, this was also when I was cooking that. It was like a Tyson meal. It had like pasta, broccoli, and I'm sure nobody really cares about this part, but I tried to get it out of the oven, and that's how I burned my arm at like 12:30 at night. That was sucked. That was a bummer.
I just want to set up a camera in your apartment so I can watch
No,
you.
it's terrifying. Don't do that. I'd be on like the world's dumbest people show.
No, it'd be like watching that giraffe. You know how everybody was waiting for it to give birth? It's like, oh, what's she gonna do?
Are you comparing me to a fucking giraffe?
Well, you're about as tall as one, first of all. And you're probably about as peculiar as one, too. Like, I could just sit there and just watch you, Bob, and probably just laugh while you walk around your apartment.
Wow, well, that makes me feel good about myself.
Like, look at this fucking guy right here making a chicken nugget meal.
It was not a chicken nugget meal. It was, it was a grown-up meal. There was broccoli in it. There was some cheese,
right?
Pasta.
Did it come with a little brownie too?
No.
No.
It was not a kid cuisine meal, okay? It took longer than 2 minutes to heat up in the microwave.
You didn't have a little slot for the corn, a little slot sprinkle.
No, but the best one was the pizza one for those.
Oh boy.
Because you would get the pizza, the brownie, the corn. Yeah. Dynamite. That was good stuff back then.
Dynamite, he says.
It was. It's good stuff, dude. Don't be judging me.
I did. I was a kid cuisine eater. Definitely.
All right, here before I'm sure people are going to hate us for this. All right, pizza rolls. You like pizza rolls, right?
So, yes, I do, but I prefer bagel bites.
What?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, who the hell are you, man?
Yep,
you're a monster.
Bagel bites over pizza rolls.
All right, well, for pizza rolls, are you an oven or microwave?
Oven.
Really?
Oven. Oh yeah, dude. In the microwave, they get like soggy and fucking.
Well, here's
gross.
So here's the thing, right? So I've always had them in the microwave.
Okay.
Always, because growing up, I didn't have an oven. Like it shit the bed when I was like, it shit the bed when I was like 8.
And as a kid, you're not gonna. That's not your go-to. You know.
Well, yeah. Like I'm not gonna put it in the oven. But even if I didn't even have an oven accessible to me, so I was raised on a fucking microwave.
Okay.
So now that I have my own oven, at first I was like, oh, I'm spoiled. I can actually cook things. So I was talking to some people, and they're like, yo, man, you should put pizza rolls in the oven. I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? A microwave, they're done in like 4.5 minutes. On an oven, I have to wait 13. Like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But I decided to do it one day. And I was quite disappointed.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick to the microwave.
No. Because you get them crunchy. I like it like that.
It wasn't even that crunchy.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm. See, no, I like them in the oven.
Texture of just being able to put them right in and not even worry about it.
I like them in the oven too because they start exploding.
Yeah, they were. It's like oozing out the goods. It's like, what the fuck? So that was a bummer.
I mean, in a clinch, like, don't get me wrong, in a clinch, I'll put them in the microwave, right? But I feel like I'm cheating myself when I do that.
Well, I mean, you might be. All right, Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
Cold or hot?
I can honestly say that I have never eaten a microwaved or toasted Pop-Tart.
Who would ever put it in the microwave? It's got to go into a toaster if you're going to do it. But I've always eaten them cold.
Always, yes.
I bite off the crust.
Flavor,
yeah. I bite off the crust first, and then I eat the good part by itself. I stack them together
Okay.
and I chew on them.
Okay. Well, I don't eat them like a fucking maniac. I just break them in half and eat them as I go. But no, I do not toast them. I do not warm them up by any means. I've actually had a frozen Pop-Tart. So I put a Pop-Tart in the fridge, specifically the strawberry milkshake one, and it was pretty fucking good.
You put it in the freezer and then you ate
Not
it
in
frozen?
the freezer. Not in the freezer. I put it in the fridge let it sit overnight, get it nice and cold.
Oh, all right.
It was pretty fucking good.
Now I'm craving fucking Pop-Tarts.
The strawberry ones give me heartburn.
You get heartburn from a lot of weird things.
Yeah, it's usually like that, just that dry jelly shit. That always gets me. So my go-to is like milkshake or cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream and wild berry is my jam.
I'm not a big fan of the wild berry, but I like the weird flavors. Hot fudge sundae is really fucking good.
Yeah, I'm a cookies and cream wild berry. I think tomorrow I'm gonna have to buy some Pop-Tarts. Fuck.
Get the 16 pack,
Better value.
Absolutely. Yeah. Family size.
Definitely gonna have to do that.
Yep.
All right. Well, hopefully we haven't bored you to death with our choices of food and me almost killing myself on an oven. Or trail mix, because that was expired.
Yeah.
Let's start the show. Let's get some observer notes in for episode 44. Ludwig Borga continues to be promoted as being undefeated, but he has been losing to Lex Luger by pinfall on all of the house shows.
Oh boy.
So that is kind of conflicting. He hasn't lost a match until you see him live, and then he loses. So.
Don't come to Spokane, Washington, though.
Yeah, like come on. I mean, I guess you could play it up as him being a heel, like, oh, I didn't lose, whatever.
Right.
But I don't think they're doing that. They're legitimately promoting him as being someone that has not lost.
Awesome.
Sabu was offered a job, but declined the offer because he would have to give up his gig in FMW, and he's remaining loyal to Onita. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. Yep.
I wanted to say Oneida, like Oneida, New York, but I knew that wasn't right.
No, Onita is the FMW Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling over in Japan, famous for being the home promotion of Hayabusa.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, Austin is our Japanese correspondent.
Yeah. Yes.
The Raw episode from last week, October 25th, got a 2.6 rating, which featured Kid and Jannetty as your main match or main feature. Also the debut of Diesel, I guess, in ring. So who knows if that played a part into it. Back to the Luger Borga stuff. That's been considered a major disappointment, their matches. And Luger is kind of being considered a flop in terms of attendance and just overall popularity. So that's an interesting thing to look at.
You think?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler, their matches are getting the best reactions and appear to be the major draws on the house show circuit. So I guess that's what's bringing everybody into the crowd. I would have to say that would be what would be bringing me in. To be honest with you, if I saw Bret and Lawler on the marquee, I'm probably going to go to that. So
I'm going for Keith Hart.
Of course you are. Not Bruce? They're not a Bruce guy?
Or wait. No, not Bruce. Keith. Right?
You don't even know what Hart you're talking about.
Keith has the mustache. That's who I like. I like Keith Hart.
Keith has the mustache.
Yeah. The firefighter.
Bruce has like the lesbian gym teacher haircut.
Yes, that's why I don't like him. I like Keith Hart. You were trying to confuse me.
Not that you don't like lesbian gym teachers. You just don't like Bruce Hart.
No, I don't like his haircut, so I don't like him.
Right. Well, that's what you said. You didn't like him because of that reason. But I'm trying to make sure that for all of our gay gym teachers, gay or lesbian gym teachers, that you don't hate them. You just hate Bruce Hart.
Well, that's most of our demographic. So
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't hate them.
Yeah, we don't want to. You're right. We don't want to ostracize them at all.
Yeah. So power to the
people. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So let's go into some house show notes from Long Island, New York, October 29th. It drew 10,300.
Holy shit. These
Yeah.
house shows are drawing some numbers.
They are. If kind of the same matches here, but we'll run them down anyway. Owen Hart taking on Bastion Booger. WWF Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon teaming up with Mr. Perfect to take on IRS and Diesel. Bob Backlund took on Dwayne and Gill. Bret Hart met Jerry Lawler. Rick Martel took on Marty Jannetty. The WWF Tag Team Champions, the Quebecers, defended against the Smoking Guns. And the main event saw Lex Luger battle Ludwig Borga.
Kind of an interesting little mix-up there. I would say definitely last week's house show notes and match card were considerably stronger, I would say. I would still go. I probably wouldn't have got as good of seats as I might have last week. But still not nosebleeds, I'd say. I'd still want to be having some pretty decent seats for that show.
Yeah, I think I would go to it as well. For the most part, it seems like they're good matches. I mean, Backlund, Dwayne Gill, and Owen Booger seem to be your, restroom or popcorn match.
Well, I feel like Backlund kind of comes out of nowhere because where's he been lately? Like, we haven't seen him.
I don't think we've seen him since SummerSlam Spectacular when he fought Shawn. Well, was he in the Battle Royal for the IC title? Shawn?
Ooh.
He might have been.
Shit, I don't know. Well, you know what? I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was as well.
I think he was.
So we have seen him. We just forgot about him.
We don't care about him.
That's true. We really don't. This week though, we got some big syndication going on, and that's because we had 2 matches. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've had.
Yeah.
I think probably since July, since we really had a match to talk about or to follow. And this week we got 2 of them.
Yep.
The first one is probably one of the bigger developments. It is Ludwig Borga taking on Tatanka. It is a battle of undefeateds. Of course, only one of them is undefeated. And technically, Tatanka has lost matches by count out and stuff like that. So he's lost battle royals, for Christ's sakes. So he's not really undefeated either. But technicalities aside, the battle of undefeated, it took place on October 30th, 1993 on Superstars. And we'll get right into it here. Prior to the match, Borga had a pre-tape promo saying that Tatanka represented all Americans and that he was going to destroy him.
Yeah, and I just want to make clear here too, guys. We Bob had me watch this through, I believe, Vimeo.
No, it was a Daily Motion.
Daily Motion. And the Q bar clocked in at about 17 minutes. And I was like, Christ on a motorbike. How the fuck am I going to survive this?
I had a feeling.
Fucking Bob.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be a reaction. Because even I looked at it, I think it came at like 16 and a half minutes. I was like, are you fucking... There's no way these guys wrestle for 16 and a half minutes.
So I was immediately pissed off.
Yeah.
With this bullshit.
Well, hey.
So...
I'm not the one that booked it like that.
But you know what? I think Bob gets a sick pleasure out of sending me horseshit fucking title card matches with just as long as he can find.
Yeah.
He just tries to find the longest ones. And he knows I hate both of these guys.
Yeah, you do.
There was probably an Adam Bomb Doink match. He was like, no, absolutely fucking not. We are watching Borga and Tatanka.
No, man, I'm pretty sure that I had warned you off of the air that coming up on syndication would be a match that you would really, really like. And this is what I was talking about.
There's probably the 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty rematch. They probably went 15 solid minutes, had a hell of a match. Bob's like, oh, fuck that. We ain't watching that shit.
Not today, brother.
So continue if you
All
dare.
Right. Well, I will continue on for us.
Right.
I just want to also point out that I feel now lightheaded from that trail mix. So if I pass out,
holy shit,
we know what happened. Anyway, early on, Borga controls Tatanka with several strikes to the ribs, but misses a splash in the corner. Tatanka tries for a few clotheslines and then finally knocks Borga off his feet. Tatanka nearly wins following a crossbody coming off the ropes, but Borga regains control with more strikes to the ribs. He drives Tatanka down to the mat with a side slam as Mr. Fuji makes his way down to the ring. Borga continues with a delayed vertical suplex, and Fuji is waving the Japanese flag as we go to commercial. Tatanka gets out of a headlock with a back suplex, but Borga quickly rebounds with another clothesline. Borga really kills the match with a sleeper hold for several minutes.
I was so bored.
Yeah, that was kind of brought to a screeching halt here. Borga continues to focus his attack on Tatanka's ribs, but Tatanka goes on the war dance. Tatanka fights back with a few overhand strikes, but another rib shot stops him. He then gets dumped over the top to the floor. Fuji distracts the referee as Borga comes up from behind to whack Tatanka with a steel chair over the back. Remember, injured ribs. Borga then rolls Tatanka into the ring and pins Tatanka with literally one finger. And that marks the end of Tatanka's televised undefeated streak in singles action. I'll tell you right now, the match part of this is not very good at all. It was pretty much all strikes by Borga. The rib stuff I didn't find all that interesting. And the way that Tatanka loses his undefeated streak here with a chair shot to the back. I understand the whole rib stuff and everything. But this to get rolled into the ring and pinned, like what is going on? It's like with when Shawn just tossed Jannetty over the top rope on Raw and then he pinned him or whatever. It's where are they coming up with these finishes? And to me, I would have to mark this as the beginning, if not the end, of Tatanka as a face character, getting any type of momentum, any type of credit, or even care amongst any kind of fan. So it'd be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks here to see if Tatanka's reactions have changed at all. Because I know it has for me. Like this, I was bummed that this happened.
You know, as much as I'm not a Tatanka fan, I don't think this was the right time, the right place, and the right guy to beat him.
I agree.
To take that streak. You know, personally, I don't think Borga really needs it. I don't think it really adds to anything for him. He kind of is what he is, and the streak ending at his hands doesn't really change anything, I don't think. So with that said, I know exactly who I would have had beat Tatanka. Do you have any idea who I'm thinking of, Bob?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Who?
Adam Bomb.
No, actually.
What?
Nope.
All right, hang on a minute. Diesel.
Yes. Because the history with Shawn would make sense. And if anybody needs something like that right now, it's Diesel. So personally, that's what I would have done. If it wasn't on Raw, at least, maybe even a pay-per-view. Definitely not on a fucking syndication show. So I was rather disappointed with that. I don't think as of right now, kind of like Bob alluded to, I don't really see too much happening for Tatanka moving forward. Especially now because the undefeated streak was kind of part of him. Yeah. You know, you got used to hearing that. It was almost part of his gimmick. And now that that's been killed off, Tatanka is probably not going to feel too special anymore. You know, there's not going to be that extra layer during every one of his matches. So, you know, with that said, I thought the action was very, very boring. It could have been a lot worse, especially with the two guys that were in there. So I'm glad that it wasn't like a shit show, but it definitely wasn't, anything to really write home about either.
Yeah, I mean, you're noting that Diesel maybe should have been the guy to beat him. I would have had Bam Bam Bigelow beat him over the summer.
That would have been my second choice for sure, because think about it. I mean, at this point, Bigelow's basically a non-factor. Like, he doesn't mean worth a shit. So I think if they would have kind of helped jumpstart him a little bit harder with the beating of Tatanka and the defeating of his streak, I think Bigelow right now would be in a much different position. So,
Yeah.
if not with Bigelow, again, my choice would have been with Diesel.
I would have gone Bigelow and then right now Adam Bomb. Because it would give Bomb a direction, some huge momentum.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just a big Bomb mark at this point. So,
no, same here. But I'd rather see him in a feud with a guy like Jannetty, really competitive feud, or a guy like fucking what's his name? I'm off track now. I think some of your trail mix has diseased my brain.
Sorry, I'm probably gonna pass out, so it's okay.
Fucking A, Bob.
I just think that if Adam Bomb, if he pinned Tatanka, you could quickly insert him into a feud with like Razor Ramon or something. Royal Rumble, Ramon Bomb, IC belt.
Yeah,
I'm tuning in.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. As I forget my train of thought and who I was going to say, but yes, that would work. I just feel like for Bomb, I would have rather seen him be built up through a feud, not necessarily capitalizing on a streak. But
you could have him feud with Tatanka.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Well, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want.
And we sure don't with 93, I'll tell you that.
That is true. After the match, Yokozuna comes out and delivers a bonsai drop to Tatanka's ribs. It is then seen backstage that Lex Luger is trying to come out to save his buddy, but the Quebecers have cut him off. But Lex Luger, being the superhero that he is, he's able to fight them both off. And then he runs towards the ring, but the Quebecers catch up to him and then beat him up on the aisleway. But Luger fights them off again, and then gets in the ring to save Tatanka from a career-ending injury. Now, Austin, my friend, if history has taught us anything, this would mean that in about 3 months, Tatanka will be angry at Lex Luger for not being there quicker.
Right.
They will have a confrontation on Raw. Tatanka will be like, hey, man, it's cool. We'll talk about it. He'll clothesline Luger, drop him over the railing.
And be with Mr. Fuji.
He'll associate himself with Fuji and Yokozuna. That is what this history tells me.
Right.
What did you think of the aftermath? I'm kind of taking it as they're writing Tatanka off television for some reason. What did you think about it?
I like that they're trying to push towards the team warfare, obviously, for the big show coming up. I really liked when they cut to backstage and you see Luger trying to get to the ring, but he can't because he's getting his ass whooped. Yeah. I thought that was a really, really nice touch. I almost wish they would have just left it there. Like Luger couldn't get to the ring, so oh no, maybe there's going to be some dissension on that team's, side in Survivor Series. Like, come on, dude, you couldn't get out there to help me? Like, what are you doing? Where was the rest of you?
He's the new Hogan, man. He's the new Hogan. He can't be held down.
Well, I just really liked that fact that we cut back there and it's like, well, because you're just expecting Luger to be just coming running out. You don't expect him to be getting his ass whooped backstage.
Right.
So I like that there was kind of dual points of action here with that. But again, like you said, the coming out, the fending him off, then fighting him again, and then fending him off, that's where it kind of gets a little dodgy, I think. But, as a whole, I think that kind of almost made up for the stupid finish of the match. The fact that at least they're driving some sort of story behind it, I guess.
Well, I like that because all he did was he's fought him off with punches. He ran and then he got caught up with it. So I kind of like that they caught him again.
Yeah.
That it wasn't like they were knocked out with,
No. Right.
Although you can make the argument of like, why wouldn't he just use his forearm that has a plate in it?
Yeah. Well, because his morals are beyond that, Bob.
No, right. Yeah. That's right. He's a good guy. I forgot.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I don't know, man. It's a disappointing way to end the streak for Tatanka. There's probably other ways you could do it that have it be more effective. And like you said, I don't think Borgen needs it.
No.
He's already feuding with a top fucking guy anyway. So what's the difference?
Right. I mean, the whole thing with Luger and the whole aftermath definitely felt Hogan-esque. Like that's immediately what I thought. And I think that's kind of the point. Like they want you to think that. Although something funny, Lex was staring down the heels when they were kind of making their way out. to the backstage area or whatever. So he kneels above Tatanka to kind of check on him. But inadvertently, Lex's crotch is right above Tatanka's face. Like his junk's basically on Tatanka's forehead. It's hilarious. And Lex doesn't know.
He's not even paying attention.
Yeah, he's got no idea. So if nothing else, if you want to be reminded of Hogan and you want to see Lex Luger teabag Tatanka, check this one out.
Or not. Our next match that took place on the October 31st edition of Wrestling Challenge saw the WWF Tag Team Champions, the Quebecers, defending against Men on a Mission. Now, in case you didn't listen to last week's episode or you forgot, this was set up on the previous week's edition of Wrestling Challenge when Men on a Mission just asked, hey, we want to fight you, can we? And Johnny Paulo was like, hey, sure. So that's how they, I guess, got a title shot. I don't know. What are the head shrinkers doing? They not know English? They cannot not be like, title shot, us? Yeah? No, yay? Okay. No, I don't know. The match here starts off with Jacques and Mo, with Jacques avoiding a lockup and then doing a moonwalk, which doesn't impress Mo at all. Mo does some, plays with the crowd, following a shoulder block, and then Pierre enters the match and hugs his guy after shoulder blocking Mo. Mabel enters the match, and Pierre doesn't realize it. Jacques tries to do a cheap shot, but that doesn't work. Jacques tries for a sleeper hold, but Pierre bails to the floor. We go to a commercial after just about nothing happening. So, he probably wasted about 3 minutes of anything.
I have to say really quick, does Jacques not come off as a real life prick?
100%.
I love it. I love that he comes off like not even a character, like who that guy is in real life, comes off as a fucking asshole.
Well, if you've ever listened to a Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen interview, he is.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell. I also enjoy that Heenan made a nice little quip on commentary. He says that rap is for people without an education. That's a direct quote there for you. So I don't know what he's getting at with that one, but
I think he's probably referencing like the hood and stuff like that. I don't know. Poverty. I don't know.
Black people.
Poverty. I think that kind of goes hand in hand for the time. I'm not saying that black people are poor, but I think
or don't have an education.
Right. But I think at the time, that's what it was kind of designated as.
So
obviously now there's a bunch of people that are rich. So
yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting to kind of point out that didn't age quite well, just like this match so far. So you can go ahead and pick it right up from there, Bob.
That's because absolutely nothing has happened.
Right.
Mabel dropkicks Pierre to the floor. And then when Mo gets tagged in, Pierre attacks him from behind to get the cheap advantage. Mo gets dropped over the top rope by the champions. The champions hit a clothesline leg sweep combo on Mo. Jacques backdrops Pierre onto Mo for a 2 count, which I'm sure Austin didn't like. Mo gets choked in the corner while the referee is distracted by Mabel. Jacques spikes Mo with a power driver, and then Pierre comes off the top, but misses a senton splash. Mabel clotheslines Jacques before returning to the apron. Mabel gets the hot tag and cleans house with clotheslines, followed by a backdrop. He does the same to Pierre and then slams Jacques. Jacques puts his hands on Oscar outside the ring as Mo works over Pierre. Mabel leg drops Jacques as Mo splashes Pierre in the corner. Now, Mabel is the legal man in the match, and they're on the floor. And Pierre stopped the count for a 3 count here. Right? He's in the ring.
I have no fucking idea. Yeah, dude, it was Pierre, so confusing.
Yeah, he's got a cover. Pierre stops the count. Oscar comes into the ring, counts a 3 count for Mo.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense. Let me retry this again. Mabel is on the floor, right? He's done the leg drop to Jacques.
Jacques, yeah.
Mo splashed Pierre in the corner. So Mo has a cover. But Mabel's the legal guy. Pierre stopped the count. But Oscar does the 3 count anyway for Mo. But he's not the legal guy, so it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Men on a Mission win the match by countout, despite Mabel, the legal guy, being outside the ring,
with Jacques, the legal guy.
and Jacques, who had been rolled into the ring before the count of 10.
Yeah.
So in reality, the Quebecers won the match by countout. But I'm assuming they just fucked it up and they had to pretend like, hey, Men on a Mission won the belt. So Mabel should have been counted out. They proceed to act as if they have won the tag team titles because for some reason, Mabel and Mo think, hey, Oscar's a legal referee. He's got his refereeing license, so it's fine. So they celebrate for a little bit. They got the belts. People are going, hey, whoop, there it is. We did it. And then the referee reminds us that, hey, the titles can't change on a count out unless it was the Quebec Province rules match, which, again, this is not. So it is announced that the titles cannot change on a count out, and thus the Quebecers are still the tag team champions. Now, if you understand anything I just said, bravo to you. What did you think of this match, Austin?
Fuck it.
The finish was way too convoluted and way too difficult. It's ridiculous.
Horrible. The finish was horrible. Something or a handful of things obviously went wrong here. There was obvious miscommunication because even at one point, the referee held up the arms of Mabel and Mo as if they won the tag team championships. Like he almost like, it seemed like he awarded it to them.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, the whole last probably 3 minutes of the match, fucking horrible, embarrassing. Thank goodness it wasn't on Raw. I would say at this point, between Borga, Tatanka, Mabel, Mo, Pierre, and Jacques, there's my 6 least favorite people on the WWF roster at this current point. So for me, it was painful to sit through. I didn't really get too much out of it. Never really was sure kind of towards the end who the legal man was. I had no fucking idea. So, just stupid. Even JR on commentary was confused. He didn't know, he fell off the rails as well towards the end of this match, didn't know what was going on. So, for me, I definitely didn't enjoy it.
I kind of took this as if they were testing to see the reaction of Men on a Mission winning the titles.
I think so. I think that's a good point. And they did, they did get a good reaction for it.
They did. I think they're an over team. Obviously, the Steiners are still number 1, but in terms of face teams, I think Men on a Mission, I think they're the number 2 team. I don't think the Smoking Guns have connected very well.
No, not at all. They're way down the list.
Nor have they really been given an opportunity, I think, to do.
Yep, they're way down the list.
Yeah, I think Men on a Mission is the clear team on the rise here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what this was. The finish was just horribly done. I'm surprised they didn't redo it.
That might have been one of the worst ones we've seen this year, probably.
Oh yeah, because there's no way to cover it. Like they were so they had to play it off as if they did it right.
Yeah.
And you look back on it, and it's like, no, none of it's right. Mabel's a legal guy. He's not even involved, and he's counted out. He threw in Jacques before the 10 count, so that doesn't make any sense. Just awful. Just awful planning there. So, needless to say, 2 really disappointing feature matches on syndication. So the end of Tatanka's undefeated streak, and then Men on a Mission and the Quebecers not knowing how to do their finish.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
No problem. That's a great way to close out the month of October. I'll tell you that. Because we now are into the month of November in 1993. That's right. We are covering the November 1st edition of Monday Night Raw, which is taped, and we're still in Poughkeepsie, New York at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. I think this is the first time that there's been like 4 episodes in the same venue.
Yeah, I'm
right?
kind of getting sick of Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yeah, I think this is the last one here for this taping sequence. The show starts off with Bobby Heenan. I use the word confronting because he came across kind of aggressive. He's with Bastion Booger, telling him that he shouldn't be eating a lot of food. And that's because Booger is literally stuffing his face. It is all over his body of various foods that he's eating. It's like turkey legs or something. I don't know. Snacks,
In
potatoes.
his chest hair. It's in his chest hair.
Yeah, it is everywhere. So naturally, they kind of play into it with, he's going to eat Razor Ramon tonight. I mean, that's something you would probably see on like Pornhub or something. I don't know. Take that as you will. But yeah, he's looking to take out the WWF Intercontinental Champion. Hopefully, Booger knows that it's a non-title match. I don't know. We then get the Raw opening video, and then we go to the arena where Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan welcome us to the program, and they chat about what we'll see on the show. Of course, they highlight the Booger Ramon match, and also a tag team match between Well Done and the Smoking Guns. Plus, Adam Bomb will be taking on our favorite guy, Virgil.
How's he got a fucking job still?
I'm surprised that he's still like on television, on Raw. Like I know he was still with the company for a few months, like even into '94, but I did not remember him still being on Raw, even to this point. Especially considering the fiasco of a match that he had with like Ramon a few months ago. Like that is just baffling that he's still on there. That's just the way it goes, I guess. So that leads us to our first match of the evening, which is the WWF Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon taking on Bastion Booger in a non-title match. I have to point this out, that Bastion Booger's theme song is someone snoring, someone sleeping, wheezing. It is literally just... I don't know if this is like a rib on Bastion Booger to say that he's boring or just heavy breather. But I literally had to turn up the volume on my computer that I was watching this on to really understand if this was just the noise of someone. Like that's literally what it sounded like.
Oh boy.
Am I losing my mind on that, or is that what it was?
No, matter of fact, it was me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I could hear you all the way in Florida.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was because Bastion Booger on a card produces that exact same effect.
Yeah, this is whether it was Friar Ferguson or it's Bastion Booger, he is just not.
I like Friar Ferguson better.
No, I don't like any of them. I don't even like the guy, Mike Shaw.
Ouch.
I'm kidding. I don't know Mike Shaw.
I like that his side boobs are bigger than his actual boobs.
He should do the peck dance that Luger does.
He looks like an ice cream cone. That's what the fuck he looks like.
He looks like the ice cream that comes out of the McDonald's milkshake machine.
Yeah, like the shitty, droopy.
If that ever works, because I'll tell you right now, every time I go to McDonald's and I want a shake, it doesn't work.
No, the employees are just being lazy as fuck.
Yeah, every time.
That's
Bastards.
what that is.
Speaking
of lazy as fuck,
yeah.
Bastion Booger match. Here we are.
Yeah, let's get into it. I hope anybody that's listening, hey, Johnny from England, if you're listening to this, do not fall asleep at the wheel as you're going to work. Hey, Johnny.
Okay.
All right. Ramon tosses his toothpick into Booger's face to start the match, as per usual. We get a commercial very early on. Again, nothing's really going on here. Booger slashes Ramon and then dances, but Ramon quickly clotheslines Booger to the floor. Booger gets tied into the ropes, and then Ramon rubs his belly, and then he doesn't do anything. And then Booger becomes untied, and he goes to the floor. Booger splashes Ramon against the ring post, and then works over his lower back, driving Ramon into the apron several times. Ramon tries for a scoop slam, but Booger countered the hold and slams Ramon. Booger then has a bear hug on Ramon for a few minutes, but Ramon's able to break free and eventually slams him. Booger backdrops Ramon to avoid the Razor's Edge. At this point, Booger sits down onto Ramon's face, which I'm assuming they had to give Ramon a couple extra bucks to do that. But Ramon counters with a roll up for the win. That was just dreadful to me. I did not enjoy that in the slightest.
So I'd like to go back through and break down a couple of these pieces here that we
Go right
were
ahead.
left with.
I'm surprised that you were awake for the whole match because I almost fell asleep watching it.
Well, the whole thing is, I wanted to see how they were going to validate this to people watching, because honestly, it's pretty much an insult to the fans for a matchup like this. So, nonetheless, I'm going to start right off at the top here. Booger comes out and Vince explains that officials must have cleaned him off because Booger looks nothing like he did backstage. He's well groomed. His beard and goatee is well trimmed. There is no food on him. His outfit looks brand new, like freshly washed. So I liked the lack of continuity, and Vince just kind of smears over it like, officials cleaned him up. Like, yeah, okay. We buy that there. That was good. Kind of getting into some of the spots, quote unquote, of this match. When Booger gets his arms trapped in the ropes, it was pretty obvious to me, and it was obvious that he had kind of put his arms in there, and the spot didn't look planned, because Razor, like Bob says, just goes over to him, kind of shakes his gut around, and then just lets the ref get him out of the ropes. So I don't know if Booger was trying to make something happen there, and Ramon was like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't care what you want to do. I'm not here to get you over, kind of thing. But it was obvious to me that Booger was definitely trying to make more happen for maybe either himself or the match. At one point, Razor bounced the boobs of Bastion Booger. Like, he literally made him his little titties bounce, and the whole fucking crowd laughed.
Of course they did.
So I just think Razor in this match knew that he was facing Bastion Booger and didn't give a fuck. Like, if this was what you're going to give me, I'm going to just have fun out here and kind of fuck around. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So
this was certainly not a dream match.
No. And you can definitely tell Razor's definitely just going through the motions for this one. Several bear hug spots. So boring. At one point, you could see Razor visually calling the spots while in the bear hug. Vince calls this match a lethargic matchup. I'd fucking say, for sure.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. And the whole playing into, I can't slam him, I finally slammed him thing.
Played out.
So overdone, so stupid, like, whatever, who cares?
Well, in the storytelling, if you're having your back worked over, why would you go for a slam?
Not only that, but do you really expect the fans to think you're going to get Bastion Booger up for a Razor's Edge?
Right, yeah.
Like, do you really think that people are thinking they're going to see that?
Yeah.
And yet he goes for it and he taunts for it and plays it off like that's going to happen. Of course he doesn't. He gets the backdrop. We end up with like a sunset, pin combination. The only thing that comes to my mind for this match is just lame. It's a very lame match. Doesn't make the WWF look too good. Makes it look passe. Makes it look less than, I would say.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, to kind of cut to the crowd once Razor Ramon gets the pin, there's an older couple that the camera focuses on. And they just look like they're so pissed some Cuban guy won the match. Like, everybody else is around them, reacting to Razor, cheering for Razor. They're just sitting right in the middle, looking very unfazed. And, of course, that's who the camera decides to zoom in on. So, I think I'm those two older people for this match.
Great productions.
Yeah. What choices to zoom in on? The people who don't give a fucking hell about what they would.
One of your top baby faces, and we'll focus on the two people in the crowd that don't like them.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. So that's what I took out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they would. I don't know who would have thought this was a good idea, but
Yeah.
somebody did.
Yeah, well, I don't know why this was a match.
Yeah, I don't know either. It kind of blows my mind. We then go to the Survivor Series report with Todd Pettengill,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Fowler. I just recently found this out. I guess Joe Fowler had a lucrative deal from a news channel or station, and Vince McMahon gave his blessing to take that opportunity. So apparently he was well liked, but he just had a better opportunity, and McMahon didn't want to prevent him from doing it. So
I like Joe Fowler for these things personally.
I mean, he was kind of corny, but
Live interview, no.
Live interview, no. Yeah, no, but Pettengill here, he promotes a Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield match, or fight, I should say.
Yeah, boxing match. Yeah.
Yeah, taking place this coming up Saturday. He then talks about what happened to Tatanka on Superstars this past weekend, where Tatanka was destroyed by Borga with a steel chair, and then Borga pinned him with one finger on his chest. And then Yokozuna delivered a bonsai drop to his ribs. Luger was attacked by the Quebecers. I don't believe he runs down the card or anything. This is kind of running down that, right?
No, yeah, they basically show the whole segment from the weekend. And going back to the boxing thing, I was surprised because they even showed footage of the last, boxing match between these two and a T-shirt for the event. So, I don't know if, the boxing commissioner or whatever paid for this little spot or what's going on or how they work that in. But they promote that almost more than Survivor or Series in general for this this little spot this week. So I thought that was kind of weirdly just thrown in there.
I think McMahon was trying to get into the boxing business though.
Like promoting boxing?
Yeah, because I remember like in the 80s and stuff, like he was trying to do that with Tyson and stuff like that. So this might be another example of trying to cross promote.
Yeah.
But,
it definitely felt like that. So there was kind of some shifted focus. Again, we didn't really even talk about Survivor Series in this Survivor Series report. They went through that whole segment, and that was it.
Yeah. Those are a rundown of what we've already seen.
Yeah.
We go back to the arena where Vince McMahon is in the ring with the Foreign Fanatics. They did not have an entrance. They were already in the ring. Of course, that consists of WWF World Champion Yokozuna, the WWF Tag Team Champions Quebecers, and the only guy without gold, Ludwig Borga. Jim Cornette is in there as well. He wants to know where Tatanka is following the attack.
Oh, no. He wants to know where Tatanto is.
Tatanto. See, I have respect for Tatanka. I don't encourage Cornette's insults here. But I want to point out, though, that this show was taped well before anybody would have seen Borga doing this to Tatanka. So I wonder if the people in the crowd are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Unless they did something in the arena that would play into that. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, that they didn't air or something like that.
Yeah, like an angle in the arena. So I don't know. That just kind of threw me off. I was like, they haven't seen it yet. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, interesting.
In terms
Yeah.
of the taping. So
yeah.
Cornette says that everyone is going down one by one. Borga will be in action against Scott Steiner next week on Raw. Borga calls the fans stupid Americans, and he says that the fans see Scott Steiner as an all-American wrestler, but Steiner can't read or write. When he is done with him, he won't need to. And then Cornette promises that the All-Americans will go down again one by one. He gets the group to chant "Survive" several times, while Yokozuna has to lean in as the microphone seems to be pulled away, and he says "Banzai." I don't know, man. This did not interest me at all. It certainly isn't something that's going to make me want to watch the Survivor Series pay-per-view between these two teams. It just didn't really have any sense of direction. It more so promoted the match between Borga and Scott Steiner for next week. And then the whole survive. That was just kind of stupid too. I didn't really I don't know. I didn't really care about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The only thing I did like that Cornette kind of weaved into the promo here is that he referenced, 10 little Indians, and, he says, oh, one by one they'll go down, and then there were none, kind of thing. So they're threatening that before they even get to Survivor Series, they're alluding to they're going to just keep attacking the other team's members until the point where once we get to Survivor Series, there's going to be none left to fight. So it's interesting to maybe allude that we're going to get some more unpredictability on Monday Night Raw with some attacks leading up the next few weeks to Survivor Series, which I'd be all for. I'm all for spontaneity. I'm all for unpredictability. So hopefully that is the case. I would not mind that at all, especially from the little bit we did see between, Luger, Quebecers, Tatanka, that whole thing from the weekend as well. So we'll see. As far as the promo itself, it was rather corny for sure. No, no pun intended there.
Yeah.
But it's 93. I'm trying to just tell that to myself. It's 1993. So other than that, yeah, it's like Bob said, it was more or less to kind of promote the Steiner match with Borga. Don't really have much interest in that, but they're two heavy guys that'll be probably hitting pretty good, so we'll see what happens, I guess. After the music plays of Yoko's, Bobby immediately says, oh, and they're all invited to my birthday party, because supposedly tonight is Bobby Heenan's birthday. So that's what we get for that promo.
Yeah, I mean, I can only hope that Scott Steiner does the Steiner screwdriver.
Yeah, and breaks his neck, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be the idea. Well, I mean, I'm not one to wish for, severe injuries, but Ludwig Borga might deserve it. I just want to point out that, let's see here. Yeah, it is. It was Bobby Heenan's birthday.
Was it really?
November 1st,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This one. He was born November 1st, 1944.
No, I thought he was BSing, so I guess There you go.
He was telling the truth. All right, a little fun fact for you. All right, we get a video promoting the match that is taking place next week between Borga and Scott Steiner. Trying to give that big match feel. We go to our second match. It's Mr. Perfect taking on the Executioner. Perfect avoids Executioner in the corner and then kicks him over the top, turnbuckle a few times. And I just have that he wins with the perfect plex. I'm not really caring about Mr. Perfect in squash matches again.
Yeah, well, I have to give credit to the Executioner because he's finally got himself some new tights. No longer does he wear the Michaels iron-on letters of just Executioner down his leg. He has stepped up his gear game a little bit, which is nice. It's nice to see that. The fact that I know that's pretty sickening, though, at this point. But just to break down the match a little bit more for you here, Mr. Perfect lit up the Executioner's chest with some chops. Executioner then whipped him pretty roughly from post to post, which I was kind of surprised to see Perfect have that dealt out to him. Perfect ducked out of the corner, causing Executioner to land across the top turnbuckle. Like he says, Perfect got in his little signature kicks while he was over the top ropes there. Executioner set up in the Indian Deathlock. Perfect slaps his face down. They do it twice. On the second one, the crowd did laugh. So Perfect was, I assume that's kind of what he was going for, was to get a couple laughs at this guy. Perfect continued to work over Executioner's leg until he got poked in the eyes. Bobby said that they once asked him to be president at one point while he's on commentary here. And he says, why would he do that? Why would he take a pay cut to live in a big house in a bad neighborhood? So that's what Bobby says about being president. Perfect hits his perfect plex, although he did not call it out to the crowd this time, which I thought
he did.
I don't think he did.
I thought he did.
Maybe he did.
I think he did.
I don't know. Or either that or I didn't notice.
I'm pretty sure, because I remember, I think every time I don't, yeah, because I think he was
who wants to see a perfect plex?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did announce it.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, here you go. Like Bob says, a rather run-of-the-mill Mr. Perfect squash match. Mr. Perfect has a keen ability to make his squash matches really not mean much because they're literally the same match every single time. He works over the leg. He gets in his signature knee lifts. He gets him on the top rope so he can kick him in the gut a few times. He gets him in the Indian Deathlock, slaps their face, and they go back down to the mat. He does his little snap mirror neck breaker that he does, the little slingshot thing. And he calls out who wants to see the perfect flag. He hits a 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bittersweet that we still have Mr. Perfect on Raw on TV in 1993. He's a hell of a hand to have, but at this point, he's about as stale as 2-week-old bread.
He's as stale as trail mix that expired in March of 2018.
Yeah, seeing as Mr. Perfect expired quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
In real life. So
2003 or something like that.
yeah. So he's about as stale as that. So I don't know. It's a shame because the Michaels Perfect stuff I was really looking forward to, and that's just fallen off the face of the earth. And Mr. Perfect seems
Shawn Michaels got suspended, so
even before that. And it just seems as Mr. Perfect has kind of fallen back into that same rut he was in the beginning of the year.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, because there was a stretch there from May through probably August.
Where I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, he was turning it around. You know, King of the Ring, he worked well with Brett, but that's to be expected. And now we're just back to seemingly him kind of. It seems like he's frustrated. So I think he wants to be a heel. He was getting heel reactions at the Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
People were booing him, saying that he sucked and stuff like that. So,
right.
Maybe he just needs to be a heel.
Something's got to give with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, I think so. Coming out of that, we go to an Ico Pro ad promoting Razor Ramon when he's working out.
Mm-hmm.
We then go to a vignette promoting Jeff Jarrett, and Jarrett is standing outside of Tootsie's. McMahon and Heenan did a lead into the segment where Heenan was making fun of Jarrett's name, like he J-R-E-T-T, whatever, you know, that type of thing. Jarrett says that Boxcar Billy is a prime example of corruption. He doesn't think that Billy Ray Cyrus can sing. I think at this point, Cyrus was just kind of making a name for himself. He's going to smack Razor Ramon, and he's going to send Mom on a mission to the homeless center. And he's going to pin 1, 2, 3 Kid 1, 2, 3.
So more specifically, just to kind of go through that, he says he calls Billy Ray Cyrus a buggy whipped armed Italian guy. Is how he explains him here. He says, speaking of Italian guys, he'd like to slap Razor Ramon across the face. Now, if we're keeping track here, Razor Ramon is being billed as a Cuban guy. I would think. That's the Scarface accent, is a Cuban drug lord. So I don't think he's supposed to be Italian, especially because he's mixing in some Spanish into his lingo, let's say. So I thought that was pretty funny that he's fucking that up. I literally wrote here, he's Cuban, you fucking slap nuts. So there you go. A Men on a Mission. I'm surprised he says, yeah, he's going to send them to the homeless joint where they belong. And
yeah, that was a weird.
That's rough. Yeah, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut, especially for a Southern guy right here saying that about two black guys. And then, of course, 1, 2, 3 Kid. The only thing 1, 2, 3 about him is what he's going to hear when Jeff Jarrett pins his shoulders to the mat. So again, he's kind of breaking through the roster and giving everybody a shout out.
Yeah, he obviously started off with the main eventers, and now he's going through the mid cards. Mm-hmm. So probably the next time around, he'll be like, Scott Taylor, I'm going to drive your face into the mat and give you a facelift. Dwayne Gill, your receding hairline is going to be, you're going bald, buddy, because of Double J or something stupid like that. He's going to go right into the enhancement, guys.
Yeah.
That seems to be the natural progression here. Or like the Smoking Guns, you're going to be shooting blanks when I'm done with it.
Oh, God.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of the Smoking Guns, they're up next. That's right. The Smoking Guns are taking on Well Done. This is, I believe, the Raw debut of Well Done. And Austin, you've said that you have no idea who the hell they are. Well, it's probably not a good sign that they didn't get an entrance for the match. I don't think the Smoking Guns did either. They're all in the ring, ready to fight.
So Smoking Gun, they did, but their entrance was cut short by commercial.
Right?
Yeah, it was cut short by commercial. So,
yeah. This is going to be an instant classic, I think. So, Well Done would be Timothy Well and Stephen Dunn. If you can tell apart which one is which, good luck to you. One of them's brunette, one of them's blonde. I don't seem to care enough which one's which. So if I have the names mixed up, shoot me. Dunn gets worked over by Billy early on in the match, and then Bart comes off the top to hit a top rope axe handle. The Guns hit a vertical suplex crossbody combo for a 2 count. Bart goes for a head scissors, but Timothy Well drops Bart over the top rope from the apron. Dunn keeps control with a quick clothesline. Bart gets double teamed in the corner, followed by Dunn hitting a clothesline on him. Bart almost pins Dunn with a roll-up, but Dunn keeps control of the match. Billy gets the hot tag and backdrops Dunn. Billy comes off the ropes to hit a clothesline, and then Whippleman trips Billy running the ropes, and the referee calls for the bell. If that sounded interesting or compelling to you, I feel sorry for you. The Guns send Well Done to the floor and then play it to the crowd. I did not like that at all. I don't know why Well Done didn't lose. Like, they didn't get pinned. I don't know why Whippleman had to protect them with grabbing the foot to cause a disqualification. Nothing about Well Done stands out. They don't look very good in the ring. They don't have a good look or anything. And this does not help the Smoking Guns gain any credibility. This should be something where they just beat them and you move on. It doesn't seem like this is a hard thing to do at all. What did you think of this incredible tag team match between the Guns and Well Done?
Well Done just came off as a little bit more polished enhancement team, I would say.
Yep.
The gear looks like something Billy Gunn would be wearing in a couple of years. Like the thongs way up their ass.
Yeah.
In the lips, they had lips on their knee pads, which I thought was interesting because that's, again, something Billy Gunn will be wearing in a couple of years.
I wonder if Billy Gunn raided their locker when they eventually leave, and he's like, you know what? I'm probably going to use these in like 5 years.
And then what if he just changed his name to Billy Dunn?
Billy Dunn.
That's another thing I don't like about this matchup. You have the Smoking Guns with 2 N's versus Well Done with 2 N's.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
With that said, it was nice to see the Smoking Guns. They're in a lot better, I would say, ring generalship shape than the last time we've seen them. And that's probably because they've been working. We just haven't seen them. Right. So it's still, to me, such a shame that we're not seeing the Smoking Guns more than we have. They came in with pretty good hype and then were cooled off immediately. And that was by design, which confuses me. So, again, I did enjoy that part of it. The match itself is very forgettable. The two, Timothy Well and Stephen Dunn, who knows, like, whatever. They're super forgettable. Like, no wonder why I didn't know who this team was. So, with that in mind, and again, the blatant disqualification, like, why wouldn't the team beat up Harvey Whippleman for that? You just made us lose on Raw. Our first Raw match.
Yeah, debut match, yeah.
So, other than that and the teams were still a little bit clumsy on some of the moves. And I think the worst thing about this whole match, was that on commentary, Bobby said, "Oh, we're no longer watching Raw." Vince is like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, we're not watching Raw. We're watching Well Done." And I was like,
Oh,
oh my fucking God. That almost made me believe that was the only reason that tag team name was named Well Done. Because raw, well done, cooked, whatever. We fucking get it. Okay. Shit. Like, not good. Not good. Nothing memorable. Like, I can't even think of a move or a tag team move that was cool. Usually there's at least one of those. No. We didn't get anything.
Yeah, it was just like a filler match for 7 minutes or something like that.
Super filler. Filler.
It was. I wasn't looking forward to it as soon as it was like mentioned earlier in the show. I was like, this is not going to be good.
I was secretly hoping that Well Done was kind of going to be like the heavenly bodies. Like, oh, these guys sound stupid, but oh, they're pretty good. You know, that sort of thing. No, they sound stupid and they're not too good or too interesting.
Yeah. Well, while that was not interesting, we moved on to probably the most interesting angle that they have going on right now. Randy Savage called into the program, and immediately Bobby Heenan mocks Savage. Randy says he's going to be back on Raw next week, and he's going to be all over Crush, who will be there next week as well. So that's got, I guess, something to look forward to.
I don't like how they barely mentioned Crush. It was more or less banter between Savage and Heenan.
Yeah.
They kind of downplayed the Crush thing. And I don't like that Heenan was getting the better of Macho Man. Like, Macho Man wasn't really saying anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's playing up the tongue injury or just they were short on time for this. Or
well,
what happened.
I don't think Savage is nearly as quick-witted as Heenan is.
He must not be, because Heenan pretty much stomped all over him here.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt bad for Macho Man, because it just, the only thing Macho Man was able to get in is like, oh, you know what? Listen close, Bobby. Here's what I think of you. And then he, slams the phone down to hang up. It's about all he gets over Heenan. So, I thought the phone call was a little bit disappointing compared to some of the Crush Savage phone calls that we've gotten. I would have liked Crush to break in the line and start talking, you know what I mean? Or something like that. But no, it was very small. It was very downplayed. And again, they only mentioned Crush kind of briefly. They played up the tongue injury thing.
Yeah, that was the main focus. But I mean, it at least gives some interest for next week's episode to see just what maybe Savage has in store for Crush if there is any interaction. So that brings us to our main event of the evening. It is Adam Bomb taking on the guy that just won't go away, Virgil.
Still so cool. Still really enjoy that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Adam Bomb's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Virgil didn't get an entrance. He looks to be in good shape though.
Yeah.
And then that made me wondering, hey, maybe he improved. He's improved his physique. He's maintained it. Maybe he'll do well. Here we go. They awkwardly decide to run the ropes, which leads to a crossbody for a 2 count. Like it looked like they didn't right off the bat. It looked like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
No, they got confused. So they start the crisscross thing, right? And then they end up going to the same direction. And Bomb tries to cover it. He goes, "Oh, you think you're smart, huh?" And then they start doing the crisscross the right way.
Yeah.
So they totally fucked that up. And I hate to say it, I think it was Bomb who didn't know which way he was going.
Probably.
Because he ended up back in the middle of the ring when he was not supposed to be. So that was fucking hilarious. Like, it's totally misstepped and confused. So that'll kind of set the stage for you guys as we continue on through here.
Yeah, so Virgil hit the crossbody for a 2 count right off the bat, and that leads to Bomb rolling to the floor to regroup. Virgil continues to beat on Bomb by ramming him face first onto the apron, and then he chases Whippleman around the ring. Virgil dives over the top and takes Bomb out on the floor. And at this point, I go, what the fuck is going on here?
Why is Virgil whooping Adam Bomb's ass?
Yeah. Okay. Crossbody to start. A dive over the ropes to the floor to take out Adam Bomb. What the fuck
I feel like Virgil's
going
calling
on?
this match for himself.
He must. He might be taking this as a tryout. Like, I gotta get my job back. Like Rick Martel did it over the summer. I'm gonna do it right now.
What the fuck is going on
It's
here?
like, fuck it. Hey, maybe when the agents were like, hey, Virgil, 80-20, he thought it was 80 for him,
Yeah.
20 for Adam Bomb, and he just got messed up because what the fuck is going on? Bomb scoop slams Virgil, and he follows up with a standing drop kick. Virgil, who has to continue with his 80% of offense, clotheslines Bomb out of the corner and then goes to the top rope, hitting a missile drop kick for a near fall. Again, what the fuck is going on? Virgil tries for a crossbody, but Bomb doesn't fall, and Virgil crashes to the mat. Thankfully, Adam Bomb finishes Virgil off with the Adam Smasher to win the match. I've said it a few times already. What the fuck is going on? Can someone please explain to me why Adam Bomb is having problems with fucking Virgil of all people?
Not only having problems, getting his ass whooped
Oh my lord.
the first, minute, 2 minutes of the match. Just getting his ass whooped like he's a fucking jobber. If I'm the agent of this match, I'm saying, hey, Virgil, you're going to run at Adam Bomb with all you can. And hey, Adam Bomb, you're not going to sell one fucking thing.
Right.
He's going to be punching you, kicking you, doing whatever he can. You're just going to stand there. You're going to take his head, put it in between your legs. He's still going to be trying to punch and kick you. Then you're going to hit the Adam Smasher and pin him. And he's dead. That's the match. Who the fuck said, hey, Virgil, dive over the fucking top rope like you're working a AAA match, and then make sure to hit Owen Hart's fucking missile dropkick off the top rope. And Adam Bomb, I guess you can win. Just hit like a move or two, and then you get to win. But Virgil, hit like a lot of stuff. Make sure you chase Harvey around, make him look stupid. Throw Bomb around like he ain't shit, and then you gotta eat the pin. You gotta eat the pin. What the fuck?
It blew my mind. You think that Bomb is getting some momentum. He's on Survivor Series team, maybe some direction, and then this happens. I just don't understand.
Fucking Virgil.
The only thing that makes sense to me is that coming out of this match is that there's a WWF figures ad, and Virgil's figure is promoted. So maybe they just have a whole bunch of Virgil figures, and they're like, if he has a competitive match with Adam Bomb, maybe we'll move these motherfuckers and we'll make some money. But I don't know what the fuck happened. That was just, I'm dumbfounded.
There's literally no explanation for that.
There's
no explanation for that.
Yeah. It blew my mind.
It's fucking Adam Bomb.
Yeah.
And Virgil.
Yeah. I mean,
how's that not a no-brainer?
I know. And as a guy that really likes Adam Bomb, seeing this, it's hard. I'm up here wondering, like, is he even like worth it now? Like, should I even care? Because he couldn't beat Virgil in like 3 minutes. Like he has everybody else.
Not good.
It was
not good. Not good.
So after the figures ad, we have a next week little thing here. They tell us about Scott Steiner taking on Ludwig Borga. Crush will be in singles action again. Randy Savage returns to Raw. And to close the show here, Heenan begins to sing Happy Birthday to himself as we close the program.
Another thing about, just before we wrap it up here with this episode of Monday Night Raw, just another thing that kind of pissed me off is that once Adam Bomb won, they didn't even get the announcement out or raise his hand before they went to commercial for that figures ad.
Of course not.
Like they rang the bell, he got up kind of, and then they faded out to the commercial. I was like, then they don't even care about him winning the match. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Not only getting offense in the match, he wins, and then they're like, okay, cut away. Like, what the fuck, man? So shitty. So shitty.
Kind of made me a little bit depressed.
It sucks because I feel like every time I really like a guy that comes along, I end up losing steam,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, so like last week we didn't really enjoy it, the episode, and this one is probably worse. I mean, Ramon Booger, holy fuck, that's bad. And then the interview with the foreign fanatics, like that didn't do nothing.
Yeah, who cares?
Mr. Perfect is like, I don't fucking care. Really,
Boring.
this is almost over. The Guns and Well Done is like, who the fuck's Well Done? They fucking
boring.
boring.
Yeah.
And then Virgil decided to be a main eventer and try to beat Adam Bomb, and just I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I don't know. I'm just baffled. I am so confused.
You know what it came across to me this episode? This episode felt like, okay, we've been at the same venue for 3 episodes of Raw. This venue is probably very sick of kind of all of the people at this point. So let's just get in the last couple of people that we have backstage. Let's throw together one last show and let's get the hell out of here. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
like the live crowd itself is fucking sick of this whole taping. Like they've probably been here for hours at this point.
Yeah.
Let's filter out the rest of the fucking people in the back. Virgil's back there. Throw his ass out there. That's one guy they haven't seen at least. And
the funny thing is that Virgil probably wasn't even in the locker room. He was probably outside the building at his table.
Yeah, he bought a ticket to watch the show.
Yeah,
they're like, no,
and
dude,
Vince was probably like, "What are you doing, man? We'll use you."
yeah, we'll throw you on.
Yeah.
You want to take Bomb to the limit in the main event?
You want to hit a tope over the top rope? It was great.
Fuck Ultimo or fuck Sabu. We don't need his ass. We got Virgil.
He's gonna say no to us. Fuck this, man. We'll show him. Virgil, how comfortable do you feel about doing a double springboard off a chair and going through a table?
Shit, I'll do it for an Olive Garden fucking gift card.
Yeah, give me the fuck money or whatever he says.
Fuck money and breadsticks.
Boy, did you see the video where Scott Hall just trashes him right in front of his face?
No,
You haven't seen that? Oh, you have to look it up. I saw it.
Trashes them.
Okay, so I saw it on Facebook, right? You know how Virgil goes to these conventions
Yeah,
and he sells like a bunch of stuff.
right.
Well, Scott Hall was at the same convention, and he walks up to Virgil, and he's like, "Hey, brother, I see you're still hustling it. Whose shit you selling this week?" And he's got like, he's like, "Virgil, you're not in any of these pictures." It's like Ted DiBiase and like Bulldog and whatever. And he's just trashing Virgil, and like Virgil's facial reaction is just like,
Is he pissed?
He's just like, "This is the worst moment of my life."
Oh
It's like,
my
dude,
god!
He's like, "Dude, just go away."
Scott Hall was probably laughing at him.
Oh, he was. He was like, "Oh, brother, who you screwing over now?"
That's awesome.
He's like, "What are you selling? You got a magazine here? I mean, you're not even in this picture." And then like it's like he's selling. What's he doing? Oh, Virgil's like, yeah, he's selling a picture of the 1991 Survivor Series team.
Yeah.
And Ramon is like, "Well, no one's buying it for Virgil. He's got like, there's Piper, there's Brett, there's Bulldog, and there's you." They're like, "No one's paying for you.
Holy shit!
They're paying for these guys." You know,
That's
funny
awesome.
stuff. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel bad for Virgil because the guy's trying to make a living, but
Well,
it's just classic. So funny. Yeah, no, but I think these last 2 episodes were pretty bad. I mean, they were on par with what we were seeing back in March when that was brutal to get through.
Yeah, bottom of the totem pole for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully the starting next week when they're back to some original programming or a new building at least, quality will improve. Now, to give you guys, so needless to say, we both this was not a good show.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out too, it's crazy to think that noteworthy appearances from Razor, Quebecers, Yoko, Bomb, Perfect, all of them didn't feel important. Like all these appearances didn't really matter, and that's not good because those are main players.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ramon given a shitty character to work with certainly didn't help matters.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they all were lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
and that's not good.
Yeah. So moving forward here, we have about 3 more shows before we get to Survivor Series. The next time we sit down, we'll be covering the November 8th and November 15th editions of Raw. And then the time after that will be the Survivor Series Showdown and the Survivor Series. And Mike Campbell, who at this point is probably about 4 or 5 episodes behind that we noted last week, let me know that Survivor Series Showdown was recently uploaded to the network under Hidden Gems, the full show. Prior, I could only find like the cut version of like an hour, but it's the full hour-and-a-half show. So thankfully, we'll be able to watch that show in completion prior to Survivor Series 93. And then that should bring us through the remainder of the year of 2018. And we'll be taking a little bit off, but no one will be able to tell. So the next time that we'll sit down for any kind of chronological IcoPod fun will be January 2019. But prior to that, we will probably do a couple of bonus episodes. I still haven't released the 2 that we've done, which was Slamboree 93 and one of what was Invasion or something. I can't remember what it was, but we did one with Joe.
Yep. Our Coliseum video with Joe Fortune.
Right.
One of my buddies that I met through Japanese wrestling fandom.
Yeah. So those will be coming out soon. I'm sure. I think one of them I'll probably put out around Thanksgiving, but I mean, if you're listening to this, Thanksgiving's already passed, so it's probably already out.
Yeah, thanks for the turkey, assholes.
But at the time of recording this, November 15th, I had not published it yet or anything, or even edited any of them. So be on the lookout for that stuff. And then in December, we'll put out the one with Joe, because I did say by the end of the year that will be released. So that will be out sometime in December, and then we'll be doing some bonus episodes. I know one guy months ago on the Podbean page mentioned that he wanted us to check out the battle at Royal Hall or something like that. Alberta Hall.
Yeah, Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah. So I know he wanted us to check that out. Maybe we'll do that one. I know there's another guy that is always hitting us up for Coliseum in our IcoPod page. So, plenty of options. WCW 2, I think we got to check out Beach Blast 93 to keep on with that chronologically.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
So, there is one WCW one that we will be skipping, just so there's any forgetting here. It's Battable in November. I'm not fucking sitting through that. I'm telling you that right now.
Dude, come on.
No, it's a bunch of mixed partners and stupid battle royal at the end. There's no substance to it. No need to actually sit through and watch it. So when we eventually get towards the end of 93 for WCW, we're going from Havoc right to Stargate, and we're not looking back. Telling you that right now. All right. So hopefully everybody's enjoying this podcast fun. I know I'm enjoying it. We were able to survive 2 horrific weeks of television, and we didn't lose our sanity. I am still alive after eating probably grossly expired trail mix. So it's been successful.
We'll see. The night's not over yet.
Well, that's reassuring. All right. Well, you got anything else there, Austin, or are you through?
One more thing here, Bob. It's crazy to think that we are coming dangerously close to really releasing episodes and sitting down and recording for 1 calendar year already.
I know.
So that's coming up. We're going to have to do something cool for our 1-year anniversary, because that's a pretty big deal, especially for 2, jabronis sitting here talking about wrestling. and staying dedicated.
I know. We started what, in February, right?
I
Of
believe
this
so.
year?
Yeah, I believe so.
And we haven't missed a week. So that's impressive on some level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only are we almost through with 93, I would say for, 2018 into early 2019 to stay dedicated, stay on top of everything, get all the content out when we need to. It's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, hopefully everybody continues to join us as we head into 94 and beyond. We'll try to maintain it for having them available weekly. Who knows? Our lives might get so busy that we might have to miss a couple weeks, but you never know. Right now, we're still like 6 weeks ahead, so it doesn't fucking matter.
We're good.
We'll be all right.
We're good.
We'll always figure out a way. All right, that should wrap up this episode of IcoPod. For Austin Skinner, I'm Bob Conley Jr., and this has been IcoPod.
You gotta hear it.